So I'm going to start the recording now. Hi, I'm Lillian Armstrong. I am the Director of Special Events for New Jersey Audubon, and I work from the Cape May Bird Observatory. Also on the line tonight is Shannon DeAngelis. Wave, Shannon. Um, and she is the Special Events Assistant and can also help with anything related to the World Series of Birding. So what I had in mind today was to go through how you add photos to your team page, because we're getting up to the time when we're really going to be promoting the World Series of Birding. And it's a lot more fun if the team pages are fun and people can click through, because you never know who's going to visit that team page and or the whole World Series of Birding page and look for a team that they feel like they can connect with. So you want to do put your marketing hat on as you talk about your team on the page. Then I'm going to go through things to keep in mind at the end of the day, but since we've had a request, I will also go over how to set up the trip report. But the end of the day is, of course, a very important time. You're wanting to get your total in, and you want that to be correct when it comes into us. So welcome everyone. I've already gotten started, but so I'm going to share my screen and go through pretty quickly how to load photographs on your page. And sometimes on Zoom, the if I switch screens, Zoom doesn't follow me. So you're going to need to let me know if I'm saying something and that's not appearing on your screen, um, because I might have to unshare and reshare. Okay. So let me get to the right place, and then I'll come back and share my screen. Um, So are you seeing my account, fundraising tools and administrative access? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I have my back end access, but this is my access to my team, the spectacled screen thrashers. We have some work to do on our fundraising, as many of you do as well. So edit your page has a number of options: customizing your page, managing your photos, and then you can view what you've done. But the photos are where people seem to run into a little bit of trouble. You've got the photo here. This is something I cropped out of another photograph and turned into my little profile picture. So that appears next to my name on my team. But I can also go back to my account, to my team page, customize your team page. So this is where you can type something about your team, your page message. So our team is staff and friends of the Cape May Bird Observatory, and we have about 6 or 7 members, and we're going to be birding all over the place. Even one of our old friends who used to work in the research department up in, she's now in the Boston area. So she's part of our team anyway, because we're an ambassador team. Managing the team photos, one of the most important things is to make sure that anything you want to load onto your page is smaller than 2 megabits. The system won't handle any photographs larger than that. So all you really have to do is to upload an image, is to click on add a new or edit a team photo. You can go to choose a file. I have mass quantities of photographs, and I was just looking at some by Roger Horn today, and I saw that some of them might be small enough to fit on my page. So I'm just going to grab a photo and put it in. Let's see, QRSTUV. Where are you? There we go. Are you seeing all of my photos?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, it's following me. Good. Okay. So this is a nice photo. So if you scroll over it, you can see the size is 183 little bits, KBs. So I shouldn't have any problem at all pasting that in there. And then you just press submit. So that is now part of my scroll. Once you have a number of photos loaded up, it's going to give you the option to use one to create a profile picture. So that's going to be the one that shows up next to your team name on the whole list of teams. And this is currently my profile picture because this is artwork that we had done for our crazy team, the spectacled screen thrashers. So this one will pop up first, and then anything in addition will go into a carousel of photos. And you can put a lot of photos in there if you want to. It makes it a little bit more fun. So there's your team page, which only your team starter will see that on their menu. So not everyone on the team can update the team page, but your team starter can. And as with anything else, if you have any trouble, let me know. Then in addition, if you're raising money for New Jersey Audubon, you have the opportunity to set up an individual page, and you can put photographs on that page as well. So that's just a little bit about that. If you have any trouble, reach out to us. Okay, now I'm going to go to my menu for this. Zoom is blocking my tabs, of course. I'm going to have to stop sharing and go to my eBird. And then I will reshare and we'll go over how to do your eBird trip report. So I'm in my eBird, and this is really strong evidence that I don't use eBird all that much. But I have mastered the fine art of creating trip reports. So over here on the left, you have a menu, and under trip reports is where you're going to create a trip report. I had done a practice and I put my information in the wrong order. So I'm going to create a new one. What we ask is for us and for the folks at eBird is that we have a naming protocol for World Series of Birding trip reports. So all trip reports should begin with 2024 WSB and then the level of your team. So I'm a level 2 New Jersey Audubon ambassador. Level 1 is the competitive adult teams, and level 3 is the competitive youth teams. So L2, spectacled screen thrashers. We've had this name for about 5 years, and back then we were swearing and cussing at our computers all the time, which is why we have that name. But we don't do that so much anymore. We're getting better. The World Series of Birding takes place on May 11th, and what you're doing here is you're setting up the time frame of the entirety of May 11th, or for youth teams, they have some restrictions on the number of hours they're allowed to participate, and they should abide by that when they set up their trip reports. But for me, I'm going to make it my start time and my end time. So I'm not going to there. I'm only going to here. Let's try again. May 11th. May 11th. There we go. So that's my date, May 11th. Down here under visibility, we ask for the purposes of the World Series of Birding that you select link only. Link only means that you can send us a link to your trip report because we're going to scan it when you complete your day. But it also allows you to share your trip report, which is essentially your checklist for the World Series of Birding, with anybody who wants to follow what you're up to on the day. So if you have friends or family who want to check in and see how you're doing, you can share the trip report with them ahead of time and they can click on it throughout the day. You can make it public if you want to, but you don't have to. So we suggest that you use trip report. And with that, I've got my dates, I've got my times, and I have created the trip report. Come on, baby. I already have a, oh, it's giving me a hard time. Please change. All right. It's giving me a hard time because I have a trip report for the same dates in there. So I am going to cancel this. And I'm going to go to that one just to show you the rest of the process. See, I just put the name in incorrectly. But once I had clicked on that, this is where it would have come. Obviously, we have 0 species observed. Now, under Edit is where you add any team member that you might want to include. So this is particularly useful for teams who are not birding together, because this will compile all the lists into one. And on a team that's birding together, I want to be clear that you only need one person to keep a checklist. You don't need everyone on the team to keep a checklist, but one person needs to be the designated person to set this up. What we have found is that, certainly some people use eBird nonstop. So you might have a team of birders who are very into eBird, and they're all checking off the same birds. And that's why we kind of group these lists and name them accordingly so that the folks at eBird can see why, they have the same millions of people, okay, hundreds, but clicking off the same birds because it's the World Series of Birding. So if you click on Add People, all you need to do is type in their email followed by a comma. Because I've done this for a few years, most of my team members are already in my contacts and I've already invited them. So over time, eBird will keep your team members in there and it'll make it easier the next time around. Under Edit, you can also add information in the narrative section about your team. So my team is haphazard. We're going to bird kind of dawn to dusk, not 24 hours. We're going to be mostly in southern New Jersey, except for my wayward friend up in Boston. So I will put all of that in there. And then we ask that if there is something that you want to add at the end of the day, whether it's a story or a bird that you want counted on your list, but eBird isn't accepting it, you can add that to your comments, but we're also going to ask you to put that into an email. So that is how you set up the trip report. Okay. Any questions on that? The trip reports can be set up at any time. As you can see, it's something that's just capturing the people whose lists during that period of time are going to count towards your total. So you can set that up at any time. And we ask you to email the last 6 digits to wsb@njaudubon.org. I'm going to keep a spreadsheet of everyone's trip report links. Okay, it's a little bit of a pain in the patoot if you're doing it at 2 a.m. after you've started birding. So it's also not going to serve you well for all the birds you got between midnight and 2. Okay. So I am now going to go to a document in the World Series of Birding website called eBird Trip Report Protocols, which is also where the whole end of day experience is found. So you go into the Start a Team page, and on the Start a Team page, all kinds of information is here. There used to be a tab in the old website that was called Rules and Forms. All of that is now found on the Start a Team page. The t-shirts are off at the printer. It is time to populate your team pages with pictures and descriptions. We'd really love to have all that done by April 29th as we begin a more solid promotion of the event. All fees are due May 3rd, and then we'd love to get your brunch ticket orders all in by May 4th or 5th. We have to give a guarantee. You can watch last week's call if you want, or 2 weeks ago it was. So here's the document called eBird Trip Report Protocols for 2024. And any of these little drop downs, this is called an accordion. You can just download the whole document if you want. And you can print it out. It's a little bit easier to read this way. So this document has all the information, one trip report per team. Checklists can be submitted as incidental. So all day long, you're going to be doing checklists and submitting them. And they're all going into your trip report. It is not advised to wait till the end of the day and tippy tap all of your birds in. It's really much better if you do what eBird wants you to do, which is to collect data about birds where they are. So, and plus you're really much more likely to miss something if you wait till the end of the day. Get it all set up in advance. Get us your last 6 digits. That's all the business about the naming and the sharing, adding people and all like that. So at the end of the day, whatever time that may be, 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 8 p.m., whatever it is, we would really appreciate it if you would send a quick email to WSB at NJ Audubon to say, our day is complete. We believe our total, and please put your team name in there because I'm going to be gathering up all this information so we have it in time for the brunch the next morning. We believe that our total is this. And if for any reason what you believe your total to be does not match what's in your trip report, please provide an explanation. And this is where it should go. It should not go to my personal email address at New Jersey Audubon. It should not go into the GroupMe chat or an email or a message to me in the GroupMe chat. It has to go to WSB at njaudubon.org because I'm going to be compiling a lot of information, hopefully very quickly and accurately. Okay. If for any reason you think that your trip report link wasn't previously submitted, you can include that in the email as well. And then I can just click right on it and see that your trip report matches what you believe your total to be. I will take your, if you believe, for example, this is a great example because it happened last year. Team thought they wanted to add a long-eared owl to their checklist but they did not send me an email when they had completed their day. So I had no way of knowing. So they believed their total was one number, but I had to go by what I saw when I clicked on their trip report. eBird won't let you count a long-eared owl, but I will believe you if you indicate that you got one. Okay. So, and then there's a discussion of the complete versus incidental checklist at the end of this. So those are the things that I wanted to go through. Are there any questions about those? Otherwise, I might jump to another couple of topics that are specific and I would like your input on. Anything? I have had some inquiries that came into me, and I guess folks were a little bit shy about putting them on the group me, so I figured I would ask you all now. Are there folks on the line who have been into Tuckahoe and can speak to the state of the roads in the Tuckahoe Wildlife Management Area? Anybody? I have folks looking for access to a couple of reservoirs in northern New Jersey. Anybody has further info on that? Canoe Brook, we have a contact at. But there was another one. Okay. All right.
Lillian,
Then, yeah,
um, I can just suggest if you want to know about Tuckahoe, get a hold of Chris Marks.
will do.
Okay.
We have shared a couple of emails about getting into the Great Swamp National Wildlife Refuge. Now, just remember that the need for special access only applies if you're going to be there off hours or if you want to venture into restricted areas. If you're just going to Great Swamp and going to the visitor center during normal hours, you don't need to fill anything out, but otherwise you do. That also applies to Harrier Meadow in the Meadowlands. We're going to supply them with a list of people who would like access to that area. That's another gated area that requires a code to unlock. And we've got a couple of people going there, but not many. Forsyth National Wildlife Refuge, if you think you're going to be there off hours, they've asked that you contact them directly to obtain permission to go there off hours. And the only other thing I wanted to share, and we'll continue to share these things via email and the list, is that there is road construction going on in Cape May proper. So the road directly after the bridge, so you pass Lucky Bones, is closed. And they veer you off onto Pittsburgh Ave to go south. So you're going to want to take that into consideration, and depending upon where you're going, if you're going to the point, then I wouldn't take the straight shot on the parkway into Cape May. I would take exit 0, which is going to take you off to Route 9 towards the ferry. You're going to have to follow the signs to where you take a left and you cross the canal a little bit farther down. So you're coming in closer to Higbee Beach Wildlife Management Area and onto Seashore Broadway to get to Sunset. There is I suppose a small chance that construction will be over by then, but that's probably not their goal. Their goal is probably Memorial Day weekend. So my hopes are not high that they will complete that construction in time for the World Series of Birding.
And
And
what about exiting? We stay at the Cape Harbor Motor Inn on Pittsburgh, and we usually head right up the.
exiting is fine. Getting out of town is fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
you're
you.
on the same route. Might be a little, you know, probably create some congestion anyway, except for that you don't have the traffic then coming from Washington and merging with you as you take that turn. Because that's blocked off too.
He graduated a couple of years, yeah,
Okay.
Thank
he
you.
graduated maybe 2 years before.
I don't know about I don't know about, during the World Series of Burning, but at least last time I was in Cape May, Beach Avenue was completely under construction in front of Convention Hall. Um but hopefully that is also finished by the time World
I
Series
think
of
that
Burning.
that piece, because I was there last weekend and that seems more spotty now. It's not like the whole thing is blocked off anymore, but there are definitely still some corners that there's something going on.
I suppose we can share on the group meet about the entrance into Cape May being a little
Mhm.
tricky. We'll make sure to do that.
Yes. Is that it? Quiet bunch? You don't have any questions in the back of your mind that you need cleared up?
Lillian, did you say that there was another Zoom? Was there one before tonight?
There was one 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I didn't get that link. So I can
Okay.
find it and watch it?
Yes, it's on the Start a Team page. It's there as
Gotcha.
a recording.
Okay,
It was
thanks.
fun. It was fun because there were some new, brand new first timers on that one.
Mhm.
So they had a lot of questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody have any news from the north? You got anything for us, Dan?
I don't really have any news. There's some birds here for once. It's not totally freezing cold. I wish I could say that I was getting out more to see them, but work being what it is.
Okay, I'll just put in one final pitch then for the finish line. The finish line this year will be at the Cape May Point Science Center, which is on Lehigh Ave. It's just right catty-cornered from the Spring Watch platform. So the Spring Watch platform is at the very end of, oh, I'm blanking. Someone help me. Coral
Coral.
Ave. And then right around the corner is that big white U-shaped structure. And we're just going to be mostly in the lobby there. It's a nice big lobby, and we're going to have some pizza and drinks and snacks. And so you're more than welcome to just come in and say hello and grab something to eat and continue birding, because it's only going to go till 10 p.m. It is a residential area, so we'll be there from 6 to 10 p.m. We'd love to see everyone there. Shannon's fixing for a party. All right, our boss, Alex Ireland, does a thing where he says, okay, I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1. And if no one has a question, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're having one more of these in 1 week. But you can call us anytime if you have questions or need help with anything. Okay? Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon. It's gonna, time
Yes.
is gonna start going really fast and it'll be here before you know
No kidding.
Yes.
it.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.